Maybe I overdid it.
Thank you both for coming. I take it you are Prince Elaine, commander of the Liberation Army and rightful heir to Cornea's throne.
Indeed I am. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, my king.
I am no king, merely Gilbert for now. My coronation must wait until Castle Soldraga is ours once more.
Prince Gilbert, then. I've word that you request our aid?
Just so. Ever since my father's demise in the tragic campaign against Zenoira, I have devoted myself to but one cause. To gather what survivors clung to life and fight onward for the past, present, and future of Drakenhold. Yet the battle which saw us win back Balmrate claimed many of our finest men, and morale has suffered accordingly.
Hence you seek reinforcements.
Correct. It wounds my pride to admit it, but I would suffer any injury before I see my people suffer worse.
We march to vanquish Galerius and free all nations of Fevrith alike, including Drakenhold. We will join you.
You've quite the grand vision for yourself, seeking to unify the entire continent. And yet that vision is the beacon which draws soldiers to your ranks and fuels your army's unceasing advance.
'Tis but a dream for now, one that will remain as such unless we can recapture your palace.
Sorry to interrupt this little war council. I've got word from one of our scouts.
What is it?
Zenoira approaches the Colosseum, and they bring a battalion of some size with them.
How large, exactly?
Bit over 4 times our head count, if memory serves me right.
That's absurd. What shall we do, Prince Gilbert?
Unfortunate as it may be, we lack the time necessary for any sort of elaborate preparation. We'll have to make do with what personnel we have. The catapults around our Colosseum walls will prove vital as well. And scant as our defenses are, it seems I have no choice but to sortie myself. We halt their advance together.
Phew, that's most of it cleared out. Oh, you here to buy something? I was just about to close up for the day.
Would you mind if I looked around first? I'll only be a minute.
Be my guest, though I can't promise I've got much left to look at.
This one here is gorgeous.
Oh, that old thing? I'll let you have it on the cheap if you want. End of day sale.
Are you sure?
It's all yours. For only 5 mil.
That's a bit beyond my budget.
I'm only teasing. Cute girl comes walking into my stall and I just can't help myself. I was actually looking to offload the whole set. How about a nice even 500?
Whoa. What is it?
Behind you. She's huge.
Oh!
You two ever hear of manners? Though, I'll take that over the usual. Most people split the second they see me coming.
Can I help you with something?
Sure can. See, I'm new in town, looking for the Colosseum. But everyone I ask goes all wide-eyed and runs off. There is a Colosseum here, yeah?
There is. But I believe they've put competitions on hold until matters in the region improve.
I hear the prince is always out for spare steel, though. Why not try there if you're looking for work?
I'm not looking. Prince might not be a bad idea, though. I'll see what I can squeeze out of him. Oh, and thanks.
What a woman.
Not another step, if you don't want it to be your last.
Please, my family lives just a few houses over. If I'm going to die, I'd rather it be by their side than trapped like an infested bird in a cage.
All of you, back to camp. And those who've come into town. Well, you know what happens next.
That's the last of the poor souls. Not a one slipped past us.
The day will come when we look back at this, all of this, and feel we made the right decision. It has to, doesn't it?
Another of your recruits, and from the same squadron, too. Most of them caught it on their way back to the encampment, or so I've heard. You had no choice, my lady.
Don't touch the bodies. I'll have an undertaker dispose of them as soon as I'm able. This foul disease has blighted our land for far too long. It may have ravaged half this town once before, but never again. No matter what that takes.
Some claim this illness is actually a noxious gas exuded from the mouth of any who speaks poorly of Zenoira. Yet others seem to believe it's a curse placed on us by the savage beast folk of the northern reaches.
Lunacy and hysteria, every word. Round up anyone that espouses these theories and snap them out of it. Similar superstitions took hold when the outbreak first arose 6 years ago, bringing complete and utter chaos with them. But I won't let it happen again. We'll quash the rumors and keep hold of what precious order we can. How fare the health inspections?
Not well, ma'am. Especially among the merchants. They take issue with our examining their wares at every border crossing.
Then they're free to take issue straight to the local jail. I'm sure the guards will be more than happy to lend an ear. Oh, and be doubly thorough with anyone approaching from the south. The spread down there is nigh unchecked, or so I hear.
Lady Hilda! The rebel army has been sighted in our vicinity, ma'am!
As if one pounding headache weren't enough. Prepare for combat, men. We must defend this fragile order at all costs. So, you've returned.
I have.
Come with me, Prim. Away from this plague-ridden place.
And forsake all those who suffer? They need the balm of faith, now more than ever.
I knew you would say that. But what can your unicorn do for them exactly? All of us stand equal before the maw of pestilence. Kings will perish just the same as beggars and thieves. And faith is but a bandage dressed upon a mortal wound. You saw what happened 6 years ago. How quickly this world can sink into turmoil without authority to guide it, without order.
Stop talking for a second and listen, Hilda. I've been looking into the source of this plague, and the people of the church actually found something. It was deep in the ruins not far from here. A vast array of poisons, each one more deadly than the last. That, and a stockpile of arms bearing the Zenoiran crest.
A valiant attempt to pin this on our benefactors. You should know better than to believe every whisper you hear on the wind.
This isn't some backstreet rumor. Go and see for yourself if you don't believe me.
Enough! Either you join me, or you leave. And should you aim to disrupt the order I fought so hard to maintain, I'll have to punish you just like all the rest.
Wait, please!
I take it you're the leader of the rebels, then. Do with me as you will. But allow me to speak first, if I may. The matter is a grave one.
Our ears are yours.
If the people of this land flee for fear of violence, The disease that has tormented us without rest will spread elsewhere. I suggest you inform them they will not come to harm, and seal the trade routes in and out of the territory at once.
The casualties of this scourge pile high indeed, my prince.
Yes, Zenoira has gouged deeper scars than I expected. Chloe, do as she's asked.
Of course, Your Majesty. Hey! Wait for me!
You speak with a liar's tongue, Prince. This talk of scars will only sow worry and hatred.
If I may, madam. 6 years passed. Zenoira's conquest was halted at this very spot. Try as they could, there was no breaching Dragonhold's defenses. How then, nigh 5 moons later, did their forces grasp victory from the cold clutches of defeat?
The onset of the plague, of course. The affliction has spread its tendrils far and wide, always arriving but a moment ahead of Zenoira's advance. It's far too convenient to be coincidence.
As if I'd be swayed by such ludicrous tales. We've spoken long enough. If you plan to cut me down, I'd prefer you just get on with it.
Hilda, there's no foe more troubling than a skilled leader who commands the loyalty of her men. Were you to fight us till your dying breath, those who champion you would surely do the same. The Liberation can ill afford keeping such an enemy. But we would gladly count you as an ally instead.
You would count me a traitor. Whatever your claimed grievances with Zenoira, my trident stands ever loyal in her service. After all, I could never hope to preserve order in my ranks if I changed course with every shifting wind.
Then you leave me little choice. I shall see you relieved of that trident and retained under our supervision until the disease is driven back once and for all.
So be it. Now come. There'll be no point in barring the roads if we don't do it quickly.
Is there something I can help you with, Hilda?
I wanted to thank you for seeing my wyvern back safely.
Of course. We'd been looking after it as best we were able, but I was told the worm would heed none but you.
He's as blindly loyal as I am, yes. Prim, it was all there, just as you said. Proof of their foul experiments, buried in the darkest depths of those ruins. Everything's grown quite clear to me now. Zenoira has brought this misery upon our land.
Thank you for trusting me, Hilda.
And you, say you win, and cast off the chains that bind this land. What next? What becomes of Drakenhold?
We fight on. Not only for the sake of this kingdom, but for lasting order that rings out across Fevrith.
Order, That reminds me, that army of yours is little more than a disheveled tangle of limbs. You'll need far more agile battalions if you'll have any hope of overcoming Zenoira's might. Maybe you can start with one led by a talented worm rider.
If such a rider is offering to join, we would be lucky to have her. You'll make a fine addition, Hilda.
I suppose I could be persuaded then.